All right, aloha and welcome, Aquarians. I am your host, Katie Imogen, here at the Perennial Omnist POTcast. We have a La Pop KYBU local Round Valley radio show to go along with these offerings. We have a family-friendly, homeschool-focused, learning with Luna curriculum and guidance program also available with this podcast. We are going to be launching Jasper's excuse me. We're going to be launching Jasper's Dream Podcast, Jasper's Classroom Without Walls, which is also all incorporated and falls under the roof of our Golden Fig Gardens Lifescape Consulting Services. My husband Noah, Novelty Select, will also be adding to that with some of his genetic expertise. And I thank you for being here. I am going to start off by giving myself a little bit of gloss like a boss, as our other poppin' partner, Pete's on the patio, Uncle Troy would say. Makeup free, except for this lovely lip gloss that I made this holiday season with Moringa MCT oil, some local honey, and beeswax with vanilla and rose essential oil. These were the bottom of the jar bottles, so the ones that I will be offering to others, don't worry, they're not going to have that honey in the bottom of it, but I don't mind a little extra unincorporated emulsified honey from the bottom of the jar, so I keep these imperfect ones for myself. And this is one of the many products that our Patreon subscribers will be having available to them. So if you like these offerings, if you appreciate the work that we are putting into doing this, to share this with the world, to come out of the cove, the cave, the closet, and allow our lights to shine fearlessly of the trolls and those who simply want to critique and tear you down for all of your imperfections, because I am full of imperfections, but I am no longer going to swallow everything and accumulate all of these blessings that God has given us. And so this is my way and my choice to step out fearlessly and just share what we've been learning over the years with the world. I am a Pisces sun, an Aquarian moon, and Aquarian rising. So I love learning. I love sharing. I can definitely be too long-winded, and I am very emotional, as you see. So, hi. Welcome. It's nice to know you, kindred community, and I thank you very much for being here. All right, back to our Aquarian podcast. I just want to also add to the introduction that the Perennial Omnist podcast, La Pop, is an acronym for two new words that came into my field of resonance within this last year or so. The first word was Omnist, and Omnist is a term that is used to describe people who believe that there is a underlying and connecting thread of truth in all worldwide religions, philosophies, mythologies. And so kind of maybe the polarity to an atheist, I believe in God. My personal opinion is that God is. Being raised in the LDS Church with Judeo-Christian foundational Abrahamic patriarchal beliefs, this is something I have I left as an 11-year-old child when I began questioning and wanting to explore other religions. Most of them all different sects of Christian religion along Stagecoach Street where I grew up. And from popping around from one Bible study group to another and one youth group to the next, I found that each of them claimed that their truth was the ultimate, the alpha. They were truer than all of the other Christian churches down the street. And this sense of competition was a turnoff to me. And so I have spent the rest of my life seeking the syncretisms within all of these different cultural, religious schools of thought. So I will open up with a shout out and give thanks to Santos Bonacci, who's been an amazing teacher that I've learned a lot from. You can see right back there, that is some of his artwork that he's shared in Zodiac calendar learning that I expanded upon in my own ways. And later on, I will get into sharing all of the different books and all of my references and resources from which I am gleaning this knowledge and now bringing it to you. So that's the perennial. Oh no, that's the Omnist piece. Perennial is another word that I'm very familiar with as a gardener. I'm familiar with the ecological applications of the word perennial, which is a plant that comes back year after year on its own. So it may appear to die back. It may shed all of its leaves, the entire upper ground in the sunlight, golden receiving part of the plant may look as if it dies and it goes back into the underworld for the winter time, but it stays alive. Its roots are perennial, and therefore with the return of the sun, the lengthening of days, the warmth of the radiant energy, it pops back on its own. Now, perennial plants differ from annual plants because an annual is a plant that cannot survive in its environment by retreating into the underworld over the winter. Annuals are plants that need the hands, the elima, the loving energy of humanity to gather those seeds and carry them into our own caves of warmth, humidity regulated, temperature controlled indoor environments during the winter time. And then we take our human hands and replant those seeds at the appropriate time of year when we know that the season of frost is over and the plant is going to therefore have the highest survival chance of living again another annual cycle, where the seed will sprout, it will grow, it will pop its 2 first leaves, the stem will rise, it continues to flourish out with leaves, eventually creating flowers. The flowers become pollinated by the butterflies, the bees, the wind, the countless pollinators out there. Once pollinated, the germ of the pollen is able to enter the ovary of the seed. So we have the male aspect joining with the female aspect, and those flowers will then often ripen and mature into a fruit, and that fruit contains the seed, which our human hands or animal or whatever will consume the edible flesh part of it, and many times animals will consume the entire thing. The seed will pass through their digestive system. The outer coating of the seed will possibly be broken down by the acids of our microbiome, and then these animals will poop the seed back out, and from seed it regrows again. So, annual and perennial in an ecological perspective. Perennial is a word I was familiar with. However, in studying and listening to more esoteric alternative healers and teachers, and in studying the zodiac, I heard the term perennial used in theology, and it is a concept or a vocabulary used in a theological application to also refer to ideas or concepts which pop back up on their own with same but different expressions in all different cultures, myths, and religions around the world. And I thought, oh, yes, again, that resonates with me. And so I wanted to name my podcast, What's Poppin'? And I thought it was like, of course, an original idea, which there's no original ideas. We all are copycats and taking from others. But I looked into it, and of course, this was in 2025, near the end of 2025, and there had been 2 other What's Poppin' podcasts that I had just started at the beginning of 2025. I also came across this song, which was a hit song, and I'm just catching up with like pop culture. But this hit song, What's Poppin', has been remixed by many people. And so going down the rabbit hole of following the different What's Poppin' remixes, I came across Dax. Oh my God. I love you, Dax. Thank you. Yeah, he's freaking awesome. And his remix to What's Poppin', he has this like intro scene where there's this little like voice of God or his own internal voice in his head. And it's kind of like, you know, the right and the left, like the love and the hate side. And one's like, come on, Dax, everybody's already done that. And he's like, oh, but I still want to try. And he's like, oh, okay, well, Jules, don't cry. Just don't fuck it up. And I was like, oh my God, see, I'm not the only one who's like afraid of the haters. And I don't want to... Yeah, there's a million other people out there doing amazing podcasts, and I listen to all of them, and I like, and I share, and I subscribe. And when I have manifested the financial abundance that I am hoping and praying this sharing can be a stimulator of, then ideally I will have more money to support these people in other ways and be able to pay to take their courses and pay to do their offerings. However, presently, we are a homeschooling, home farming, small backyard family of 5 that receives no government support and barely scrapes by. In fact, the majority of life's luxuries are all thanks to our family support. So, thank you so much, Mom and mothers, grandmothers, fathers, aunties, uncles, all the family who does support us in the ways you do. I hope that this is a offering and a service that you also feel supported by. And if you are able to financially support us, please do so. And so now, after that 13-minute intro, let's get back to the Aquarius season. So, as you see, I've got my horse costume on here, and that is because in the end of this, well, not quite the end, but in this next chapter of Aquarius, this year in the year of 2026, we are exiting the year of the snake and entering into the year of the horse. I have been doing a lot of somatic healing work. Thanks, Kirsten, for guiding me into that and getting us started on that last spring with your amazing workshops, which you make so affordable for our community. And her workshops are going to be being offered for free thanks to a Friends of the Round Valley Library art grant. So for any locals, I just would like to highly suggest that you come and check it out. If you haven't ever done any work in the somatic therapy space, it's been an incredible healing tool for me to process trauma and move it through so that I'm not carrying hurt, because hurt people, and I don't want to hurt others. I want to be able to heal and help myself so that I am capable of helping others as well. So we're entering into the year of the horse. Spent this last year shedding a lot of snake skins. It was actually her workshop that inspired my Medusa snake-like dreadlocking, which has been an entire journey of learning in and of itself, of overcoming my fear of judgment and how many people are going to want to say negative things about my skin color and my hairstyle or whatever. So this is me, and I send you nothing but love. And if you want to pick me apart and critique me, I'm just going to learn how to block you. Okay, back to Aquarius. We begin the month of February within the sign of Aquarius, celebrating Imbolc, or Candlemas, on the calendar wheel on the first day of February. Aquarius is a fixed air sign representing idealism and represented by the patterns Saturn and Uranus. The Latin roots of the word February, which was taken from the Sabines, means to purify, to initiate, to quicken. In some cultures, it is referred to as Sol Monath in recognition of the return of the sun, and Imbolc is often associated with the quickening of time. Imbolc in Gaelic also means in the belly or gestation. The 11th house zodiac placement of this astrological sign is linked with the calves and the ankles on the human body. Its sacred geometric design is that of the endecagram, which is an 11-sided shape with inner angles of 32 degrees. I know is the confirmation often expressed by this archetype. The opposite sign of Leo means that it also carries sympathetic associations with the blood and circulatory systems within one's body. Aquarians are known for being very resistant to restrictions, although inwardly they crave inner discipline. The flowers and herbs that are most often harmonizing with Aquarius are violet, whose color purple is one of the earliest springtime blooms and symbolic of this month, as well as other purple flowers such as pansy, valerian, other colors including daffodil, lady's slipper, southernwood, snakeroot, and spotted plantain. Gemstones of this cycle are sapphire, garnet, turquoise, jade, and amethyst. The cell salt of this zodiacal sign is sodium chloride. If you would like to dive deep into the world of cell salts and the zodiac, I implore you to read the works of George W. Carey. Being the water bearer of the astrological wheel on both an earthly plane of existence, where both our planets and our own bodies are made up of approximately 70% or more water, this cell salt's entire mission is to unite with and make water useful. Think of how the salty liquid is necessary for the proper working of the electrical battery. When a deficiency arises, the continuity of the molecular chain of water is broken, and illusions, which can cause insanity, ensure. And that was an Adam York quote right there. Beneficial foods to consume the most optimal amounts of this cell salt are strawberries, apples, figs, spinach, cabbage, radish, asparagus, carrots, cucumber, lettuce, chestnuts, coconuts, lentils, and herbs such as those listed above, as well as bayberry. Trees that grow within the Ogham Grove calendar wheel under the sign of Aquarius are rowan, which is written as a vertical line with 2 horizontal lines to the east or the right-hand side, and alder, which is written as a vertical line with 3 horizontal lines to the right or to the east. Rowan corresponds with the sun traveling from 27 degrees Capricorn into 15 degrees Aquarius, which is the exact moment of Imbolc, celebrated on February 1st on the Gregorian calendar, and honored as the Christianized Candlemas, celebrated on February 2nd within the Catholic Church. Traditionally ruled by Brigid, the goddess of fire, creativity, inspiration, and poetry, whose sacred animal is the swan. The second herald of Imbolc, beginning at 15 degrees Aquarius and running through 3 degrees Pisces, is alder. Alder is associated with Bran the Blessed, deity of wisdom and protection, whose animal totem is the raven. To learn more about the Ogham Grove and how to work with the essences of these arboreal energies, please check out the works of Yuri Lerch, whose books and YouTube videos I have gleaned much of this information from. In Native American earth medicine wheels, found in books such as Earth Medicine by Kenneth Meadows and The Medicine Wheel Earth Astrology by Sun Bear and Waboon, we recognize this to be the time of resting and cleansing. Ruled by the Waboos, spirit keeper of the north, this air time is honored by the butterfly clan, northern winds, and otter is its totem animal. Butterflies are seen as transformative, but can also be flighty if not organized in their purpose. Otters are both land and water creatures with highly playful personalities who take great attention to self-care in a luxurious, laid-back way of tending their furs and caring deeply for family bonding. Both authors mentioned above agree that silver is the affinity color of Aquarius. Also, its mineral according to Sun Bear, silver is also its mineral according to Sun Bear, but given mineral rulership of turquoise by Meadows. Turquoise is believed to be a great vibratory absorber and protective healing stone. It was worn with the faith that if impact occurs, it could prevent bodily injury by taking the brunt of the pressure, and the stone itself would crack or fissure instead of one's own bones, or the bones of the animal, such as horses, which were often decorated with turquoise. Waboon and Sun Bear associate this season with the quaking aspen, while Meadow sees fern as its plant totem. Aquarian personality traits are agreed upon, and in the I Ching, we find the trigram sun or the gentle wind associated with this time of year. In the Medicine Wheel of the 13 Clan Mothers, written by Jamie Sans, February is the moon cycle of the Wisdom Keeper and embodied by the color gray. The Wisdom Keeper is the mother of planetary friendship, unity, and mutual understanding. She is the guardian of remembering, the protectress of sacred traditions, and the keeper of the philosopher's stone and Earth's eternal stories. Her primary teaching is to honor the truth. Fitz Wegner's beautifully and playfully engaging book, Heaven on Earth, shares the following famous Aquarians throughout the ages, including Charles Darwin, Abraham Lincoln, Lord Byron, Anna Pavlova, Galileo, Charles Dickens, Thomas Edison, Franklin Roosevelt, Charles Lindbergh, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, Virginia Woolf. Anyone else noticing a bit of a wolf thread running through here? Contemporaries also include Oprah Winfrey, Alicia Keys, Jennifer Aniston, Ellen DeGeneres, my mother, my own personal moon and rising, and a handful of my closest lifelong friends. Characters like these are synonymous with personalities that at best can be rational, progressive, fair-minded, philanthropic, intellectual, and understanding, while at their worst they can be long-winded, absent-minded, rebellious, oversensitive, paradoxical, unpredictable, and reclusive. We see patterns of these archetypes gravitating towards careers that include psychology, technology, sociology, astrology, astronomy, aerospace, aviation, invention, and the unconventional in general. Also, television and radio with a focus on charity works and human rights. In The Grandmother of Time, Zuzana E. Budapest speaks of Hagia Sophia as the deity with rulership over February. The goddess Sophia is an archetypal embodiment of knowledge, seeking wisdom, philosophy, truth revelations, and sharing. taking us through the cross-cultural ceremonies of this Aquarian season, beginning with January 21st, when the sun is, according to the Gregorian calendar the world adheres to today. This is the first degree of the sign of the water bear, the Sophia above as the Sophia below. In Roman rituals, Pax was the goddess of peace whose festival was held on January 30th. On February 1st, in the Mediterranean, the Initian rituals of the Eleusinian mysteries began at this time and were not completed until Persephone had returned from the underworld at spring equinox. In Ireland, the Wives' Feast began on this day, and the following day of February 2nd was the Feast of Brigid, a triple goddess worshipped by 9 priestesses, who was adopted and Christianized as Mother Mary, who carried the Son of God in her womb for 9 months. Candlemas, which was also an ancient pagan tradition of the initiation of witches, incorporated into Catholic Mass by remaking of candles from the leftover wax of last year's light bearers, is a holiday celebrated on February 2nd as well. On February 3rd, solar crosses were made from both straw and baked as cross buns in Irish culture to celebrate the all-seeing eye of Brigantia. Other goddesses worshipped during this zodiacal cycle are Lady of the Lords in France on February 11th, the Festival of Diana, which was Roman, or the Festival of Artemis for the Greeks, on February 12th. Parentalia, February 13th through 21st, was a Roman festival. Victoria, another Roman festival, on February 16th. Fornicalia, Feast of the Ovens, on February 17th. Festival of Women as Cultivators, which was a Persian ceremony celebrated on February 18th. Feralia, and the Purification Festival of February 19th in Rome. Now, don't worry, I didn't skip our favorite American holiday in February of St. Valentine's, which is also coincidentally Susan B. Anthony's birthday. This same holiday, in ancient Roman times, was the first of the resurrected, or Lupercalia festival, in honor of Lupa, the wolf, who entered into heat at this time, and it therefore was a sign of sexual readiness in nature. I greatly recommend you read this wonderful book by Zuzana Budapest if you wish to dive deeper into goddess rituals. She takes you through each month in the Grandmother of Time. A couple of other witchy wise woman books I would like to recommend to the Aquarian minds are Garden Witchery, Magic from the Ground Up by Ellen Duggan, and The Ascending Goddess, The Untold Story of the Lotus of Fiery Love by Zenova Dukoshva.